Well, good morning, everyone. Thomas Montgomery. It's a beautiful Wednesday morning, December 14th, 2022. We're nearing the midpoint of December. Hopefully, this has been a prosperous month for you. We're seeing lots of volume come through. We get together with our distribution partners each weekday morning, barring holidays or travel, to talk strategies, tips, techniques, share success stories, and be a resource for each of you. May not be too obvious, so let me shrink it down a bit. But what we're looking at today is the landing page. And so we provide all of you this free landing page. Why would you want a landing page? Well, our experience has been that our top performers are able to provide a very succinct call to action. So when you have a prospect, an entrepreneur, regardless if they're a pre-launch startup or existing business, if you have an entrepreneur that's looking for $100,000 or more to start or grow a business, what we need to be able to do is very succinctly share with them what to do next. Don't make it complicated, and frankly, don't talk too much. So as we realize that that was a key attribute of many of our most successful distribution partners, now we have a landing page just like this that we'll provide to you, of course, for free. That is not necessarily new information. We've talked about that some in the past. What we have changed, though, is an addition. So let's go through the basics of the landing page, and then we'll get into the new information. So if you're a white label partner, the process works differently because Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, has to do essentially a custom build. So then it has your logo and your spiel and your video, and it links to you. But for all of you that are affiliates, it'll look just like this. You'll have a unique link, not guaranteedfunding.org, a unique link that ties to you. But so we start with the introduction, which is quite simply $100,000 guaranteed to start or grow a business. And so that is a powerful introduction. We have a brief video if they want to watch it. I think it's around 8 minutes. They don't have to watch it, but essentially what we want to do is capture some basic demographic information to get them into the funnel. So when people go to your page of your site that we provide that looks just like this box here, which may not seem like it, is actually linked to you. So the URL that we provide you for free is hard-coded to this. That's why we don't have to ask who referred you. We know which site they came from. It's built into the coding. What is new now on the landing page, and it's really our focus of our discussion today, is this section here. So I'm going to go ahead and make it a bit larger. Now, this is a graphic that we had developed a while back, and we've had standalone trainings on it. So it's not necessarily, it's not a new graphic, but it is new to the landing page. A couple of you requested it to be added. We went back and thought about it and figured, well, we should just put it on everyone's landing page. Landing pages by design should be very simple and succinct. But this is important, so let's spend a few minutes talking about why this is important. Now, this is an important concept regardless if you're using our landing page or not. It's an important concept regardless if you are a white label partner or an affiliate. Because this does what? It answers the question of how in the world is it that we can guarantee access to a minimum of $100,000. Because some people would say, oh, that sounds too good to be true. That can't be possible. But it is, and this is why. I had a conversation yesterday. One of our affiliates referred into us an attorney, a small business attorney. And I had a great discussion with him. And of course, with his legal background, he was quite analytical and wanted to understand, really, how does this work? How is it that we can make such a lofty claim when no one else does? And if it's not done correctly, it's actually an illegal claim. But for us, it's legal, of course. And so this is, in fact, how I described to him. And he has nearly 100 clients to refer over, he says. So how is it that we guarantee access to 100,000? Well, it's based upon our model, right? Adults ask questions like why and how, not just what. So the how this works is described basically in this model. So we have three components that we address. It looks a little granular because I'm zoomed in so much, but we help with financial literacy, loan package, and credibility building. We're going to go into each one of those because if you're not familiar with these items, it is important to understand it. Again, in general, what you'll want to do is just simply refer to your landing page. You have your own link. They'll go here and they can research and read as much as they want. But for your information, let's drill into the three things that we do so we can ethically and legally and effectively help anyone get at least $100,000. So let's start with the top right-hand corner and we'll work our way around clockwise. Financial literacy. And I always preface this because I know a lot of clients, a lot of small business owners really don't care about financial literacy. They just want the results. However, you and I would prefer that they go through the curriculum. They're not required to. It used to take 28 days to go through it. And then we consolidated it down to 4 days. And now it's available all to be completed essentially in 1 day if they want, because when a client signs up, we send them the Adobe Building Your Loan Package PDF, and that provides them immediate access to the modules. Now, there's technically 5 modules. I know it says 4, but the first one is what we call 27 mistakes. And it provides a nice overview of what are the credibility elements that a lender or an extender of credit would be considering, so we can look at ourselves and our businesses through the lenses of the lender. And so that's very helpful. So that's the foundation building. And then we move into the 4 modules. Module 1 on business planning. We help them build a business plan if they need it. Number 2 on building business credit. We help them build their business credit if they need it. Financial reporting, teaching them about proper reporting. It's been all over the news. You know, you'd have to be probably under a rock over the past couple of days not to learn about the demise of FTX, the large multi-billion-dollar crypto company. And one of the main criticisms that is occurring is that they didn't have proper financial management. Well, to no surprise, when a lender is evaluating if they want to approve a loan or a line of credit or an extension of credit to a small business, they want to know, is this small business sophisticated enough? Are they set up properly to even handle the money? And so you and I are going to make sure that these clients are, and that's through financial reporting. That can be done as simple as outsourcing it to a bookkeeper. We can help them get set up with QuickBooks or what have you. But the bottom line is a well-ran small business needs to have proper documentation. And so what we teach them in Module 3 is about balance sheets and income statements and help them create those. Again, you may get pushback from clients to say, well, I'm a new start business, that doesn't apply to me. And that just shows their ignorance. Of course it applies to you. If you have a business, you need to have a system set up so we can properly track assets and liabilities, income and expenses, even if those haven't occurred yet. So the lender has confidence that we know what the hell we're doing as we're asking for lots of money. And then Module 4 is banking and money. So the financial literacy curriculum is an award-winning curriculum. We built in FDIC content that's promoted by the SBA. We were exclusively selected to put this together. It's called the Small Business Certification, and that's one of the 3 balls. Is this the main reason that people would sign up? No. Is it incredibly valuable? Yes. And so that is one of the 3 pieces, but they do not have to go through it. It's not a requirement. The second of the 3 balls depicted on the graph or on the pictorial here is loan packaging. So that's where we're going through a process of gathering documents from the clients that are typically needed for loan approval. You know, and I know different types of loans, different types of lenders require different documentation, but we're trying to gather a basic set. And so if they're missing things, we help them, just like I mentioned. So if they don't have a business plan, we help them create a business plan. if they don't have financial projections, personal financial support, so forth. So we gather what they have and we help provide what they don't have. Do they have to pay anything to go through the financial literacy curriculum? No. Do they have to pay anything outside of the normal program for the loan package assistance? No, that's what we're doing here. So there's two of the three balls. Now let's get over to the third ball, the third input, which allows us to guarantee a minimum of 100,000. So now we're on credibility building. I described it in this order because once we have the documents that the client does have, we can evaluate where they're at, if they're on track for the type of capital raise, the amount and the type of funds that they want. And so we call it a capital match, but essentially it's an evaluation of the client's documentation and readiness. And if there's a void, an issue, something missing, something not strong enough, that's okay. And that's what makes your and my approach so different from the marketplace. We're not looking to tell anyone no. We tell everyone yes. Yes, we will help you raise at least 100,000. Now, we do have to be credible enough for the amount of funding and the type of funding we're going after. Of course, it's not free. We have to qualify for it. But you and I can help them. So again, I know this is like preaching to the choir. When you're in school, you learn this. When I was in school, I learned this. But trust me, a lot of small business owners don't know about the 3 C's. Now, we introduce it over here in the original curriculum, but credit, capacity, collateral. So do they have to bring these 3 C's to the table to be able to enroll? Absolutely not. We are not filtering out. So if you're hearing me say, oh, they have to have 3 C's to enroll in the program, that is wrong. That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that different sources of capital have different underwriting criteria, and based upon the documents we gather, we create a funding plan, and we can determine, do they meet the credibility standards for the type of funding that they're best suited for? If yes, then we immediately go to funding. If not, we help them build any of those 3 C's. Let's go through those briefly. The first of the 3 C's is credit, and let's make it just a little bit larger. So it states credit is fluid. We can help anyone have credible business and personal credit quickly. So credit's divided into 2 categories. Business credit, which is based on the EIN. We help all the participants at no extra cost build out their business credit profile. And that, in fact, is one of the modules over here that we talked about. We also evaluate and can help them strengthen their personal credit if needed. So different sources of capital have different underwriting criteria. Some of them don't look at personal credit at all. I understand. But what we're doing is trying to strengthen the client's file overall. So we're looking at their 3 C's, but most relevant, looking at the 3 C's as it relates to their documents and the funding plan for them. The second of the 3 C's is capacity. Sometimes you hear that referred to more as cash flow. And so why would a lender care? Well, let's back up. Why would a lender care about credit? Well, credit, excuse me, is a written reflection of have we paid our bills in the past as we promised. And so is credit fluid? Can we fix sometimes negative issues? Sure. But in general, what's the purpose of credit, whether it be personal or business, is to show did the individual and or the business pay as agreed. Why is capacity important? Because it's demonstrating to the lender or the extender of credit, do we have the cash flow to be able to service the debt, the ability to repay it. And so also capacity builds in documented liquidity. It is difficult to go borrow a large amount of money if we're insolvent, because it obviously looks like that we may not be very stable as a person or as a business. Can we fix that? Absolutely. So we commonly add liquidity, and we can add cash flow to clients to strengthen this C, just like we can strengthen the first C, credit. Then we get down to the third C, which is collateral. And these are assets pledged as security for loan repayment. And so if they have a shortfall there, can we help them? Absolutely. So now hopefully it's clearer, and I'll make it a bit smaller just so we can see more of the page, how the model works, right? So we provide you a free landing page. You'll drive people to it, and then they'll be able to enroll. You're paid each time they enroll and they go into the process. The landing page is meant to provide enough information that they can make an educated decision if they want to enroll or not, without being a burden on you. Frankly, you shouldn't have to talk a lot, if at all, to your prospects, because the landing page has the brief video. And again, if they question, just like the attorney did yesterday, how does this really work? How can we possibly guarantee any small business 100,000? It's because we teach them what's needed. We help see what they have, build what they don't have, and then make sure that they're credible enough on paper to get approved. Because there is no discrimination based on gender, race, age, religion. If a borrower submits an application and they're approved, in other words, they meet the, I should say, if they meet the underwriting criteria, they get approved. And if they don't meet the underwriting criteria, they get declined. And so what you and I do as technical advisors is help people enroll in this program. There's no upfront cost, guaranteed $100,000 capital raise. You get paid for just referring them in. So it's great passive money essentially for you. And then we do these three things to help them qualify for at least 100,000. All right, so with that, let me make it just a bit smaller and let's answer questions that any of you have about the landing page that we provide for you for free. You should have your link to your landing page right now. If you don't know what it is or can't find it, you need to let us know, because how in the world are you going to help people? How in the world are you going to make money if you don't have somewhere to drive your prospects to? And anyone that also has questions about the pictorial we just discussed, that's our topic today, is explaining visually how it is that we can guarantee any small business a minimum of $100,000. All right, so Susan's asking, what about clients that want more than 100,000? Maybe they want 500,000 or $1 million or more. Well, that's fine. The process is the same. They still come here, they enroll on your site. We're going to go through the same process. Now, the financial literacy doesn't change regardless of the amount of capital. The loan packaging process really is the same. The strength of the applicant obviously needs to be stronger the larger the capital raise. No surprise, right? If you wanted to go borrow $1 million versus 100,000, you'd have to have a stronger file. So our guarantee, our written guarantee, is that we'll help anyone get at least 100,000. However, if they want more, we can work with them to get more. They'll have to meet the credibility standards of that higher amount, but we will work with them. But the guarantee doesn't change. And so our terms and conditions are standardized to say we guarantee 100,000. All right, great question, Susan. Who else has questions, comments, concerns? All right, Timothy's asking about adding sub-affiliates. So that's right. So we are not MLM or network marketing, but we pay 3 levels deep in the affiliate payout. And so and then you get an override from any of the affiliates that's underneath you, and you also get an override from any of the affiliates under them. So 3-tier payout. The way to add affiliates is, or sub-affiliates, if you want to call them that, that's underneath you, is the same process. They're going to go to your page, not guaranteedfunding.org, but your page that looks just like this that we provide to you automatically. And they'll come over here and they'll put in their information, hit the blue button, they'll go to the next page, and then they'll be able to get set up as an affiliate where they'll pick their username and their password. It'll email them their link, and then Timothy, they'll have a page that looks just like this. And so it's automatically hard-coded in the system where they're in your hierarchy, they get paid and you get paid. All right, Samuel is a white label partner and he doesn't have a landing page. And so you don't have to, as a white label partner, it's really up to you how you want to go about bringing clients on, but having a landing page like this will probably help. If you'd like Scott Stroud, our Chief Marketing Officer, to build one out for you, he can do so. It's just different for white label partners, because white label partners, you're going out to the marketplace under your branding, under your entity, under your contractual terms. So the logo needs to change. The video probably needs to change. This is going to change because it's going to link to your terms and conditions, because you could charge more or charge less. You could give it away free. Those would be all of your options. And so, yes, if you're a white label partner, we still think it's recommended to have a landing page. You don't get this one automatically because this one wouldn't match, right? This one talks about our entity. We have a nonprofit called Guaranteed Funding Inc. It's a nonprofit corporation. And so if you're an affiliate, this is all accurate. But if you're a white label partner, then this wouldn't be accurate. All of this would need to be modified to your organization. So Scott can help you do that, or you can do it on your own, or you can skip it completely. But I think very few people are going to drive significant volume if you don't have a landing page to drive people to. The more manual that you make it, the less people they're going to enroll. And the more manual that you make it, the less money that you're going to make, because it's going to be dependent upon you spending a lot of time. We have affiliates that come aboard and enroll, let's just say 10 clients in one day, their first day, just by following this simple process I'm describing. So I think a common mistake, so many of you are so experienced and so smart, and you want to talk, and I think just in many cases you overly complicate it. It doesn't need to be complicated. Identify a lead or a prospect, send them the link to your landing page, and many people will sign up. Now, I had a conversation with a lady this morning. She wouldn't sign up until we talked. Her name's Dina. Fine. So I called Dina this morning, and she works full-time job, so we were having trouble connecting during the day. Fine. So I called her this morning right before she took a shower, right before she had to go to work. Great. And so then, of course, she signed up afterwards. Nearly everyone, not everyone, that's too good to be true, but nearly everyone will sign up, because it's a hell of a proposition, right? When you can go to any small business owner, as long as it's legal business, legal industry, and US based, and you can say, look, there's no upfront cost. We guarantee a minimum of $100,000. Got a little video if you want to see that. There's a pictorial that describes how we do it. But frankly, let's just give it a try, right? Just give it a try. Go over here and put your name on it. Now, if you're on the phone with them, I would take a different approach. I would text them your link while you're on the phone, and I'd walk them through it. And then you're going to have real close to a 99% enrollment rate. If you're on the phone, you text them your link and you walk them through it. But again, take Jeff, for example. Jeff last year enrolled in 1 month, enrolled 400 people, and he didn't talk to any of them. So it just depends upon your style. I've had a few, and I'll close on this. I've had a few distribution partners come back and say, well, you know, I can refer some people, but I need to get funded first. And I'm like, well, why is that? Because their circumstances may be different. They may qualify for funding even faster than you, or a bit larger amounts than you. Why did this all of a sudden become about you? Typically, that is a reflection that they lack credibility. So they've gone out maybe to their warm market, and they've probably been pitching some other, you know, Primerica or whatever before, and the people are skeptical, and they're like, oh, sure, George, yeah, show me your $1 million and then I'll jump in, because they don't have the credibility. So this removes the burden of the messenger to have the credibility, because it's not about the messenger, it's about the message, it's about the guaranteed results. So hopefully that was taken well. Any questions, comments, concerns on landing pages, the new incorporation of the pictorial, anything that we can do for any of you today? We are blowing and going. We had a $500,000 day yesterday, first time in a while that we've had that amount of income in one day. Things are good. Things are good. We're working through a heavy workflow right now, but we're keeping up and getting caught up. But thank you all for your participation. We feel that this we feel and we're seeing that this simplified approach to going to the marketplace is working remarkably well. For those of you that are affiliates, if you just want a simple $250 a day direct deposit into your account, follow this system, and that is very doable. For those that want to earn more, just do it more often, but it's a simple process. Drive people to your landing page, looks just like this. We give it to you free. They fill it out, they go through the process, you get paid. Any questions, comments, concerns before we hang it up for today? All right, well, thanks everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow morning. Have a great day. Bye-bye.